Success, fame will come by destiny. Happiness is a choice. So what is the use of success and fame and fit body if you're not happy? The Bhagavad has predicted 5000 years ago that in Kalyuga people will suffer and people's life duration will be shortened not because of any other reason but because of wrong lifestyle, which is happening today. Spiritual life is our natural life. The more we stay connected, the more we shall be happy.
At any point of time, let's say a religious spiritual person in his journey at any point of time feels disconnected to the Supreme Lord, how can he connect himself once again?
इसको करेंगे तो क्या होगा? Analyze कीजिए इसको करेंगे, because every choice will come with a price tag. And then take responsibility for the decision you have taken. Don't regret it then. So early morning and early evening hours have always been reserved for spiritual activities. That means activities for the soul. So for that, people won't get up, but they are very happy to get up for activities related to the body, which we are not.
Yeah.
They will go for a run, they will go for a walk, they will go to the gym. And how much ever we try to hold on to the body, it is dying every moment.
Hello everyone. Today I am gonna greet you in a different way. Today I am gonna start with Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Today is all about spirituality. We always say mind, body and soul, but we tend to miss out on what your soul is. So I have a really special guest with us today, Prabhuji Shri Nityananda Charan Prabhu. He is here with us to explain the intricacies of what it takes for you to connect with your soul. He is a renowned leader who has transformed millions of lives of all stages in life. You can call them teens, children, elderlies, people like us, businessmen, professionals. So let's speak to him. Let's understand the teachings. Let's understand how you can connect with yourself better. Let's understand how we can be a better human being. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for being with us today. Pranam aapko. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Thank you so much for understanding that this needs to get out there and we need to do something about it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
The pleasure is all ours. I think we are more than happy to have you here, and I believe that the conversation today will enlighten everybody who gets in touch with this conversation. So to begin with, Prabhuji, we always talk about you get up in the morning, you freshen up, then you do your puja, Surya ji ko arag dena, and do a bit of chanting, mala ek pheru. This is, I believe, this is a pattern which I think every good Sanatan Hindu or Vaishnav household in India teaches their children. And some of us do it, some of us neglect it, but I believe it is important. So please tell us the power of chanting, the power of that Surya arg, and the power of that first morning puja.
So I don't think people do it anymore. Because when I was growing up, 1980s, my subject books were like this, that as soon as you wake up, you touch Mother Earth, offer pranams, then you go out and touch your parents' feet, other elders' feet, take bath, offer water to Surya, offer water to Tulsi, offer your prayers, and then you take your breakfast, then you go to school. Evenings also you repeat the process. So nowadays, at the very foundational level, things have gone haywire. These things are not taught. We don't find these textbooks nowadays. And in the name of becoming modern, the families, even the traditional families, have gone off track. So this is no longer their priority. Very rarely you see families who are focused on giving a strong spiritual foundation to their children. But yes, how you begin your day will decide how you feel, what your experiences are, what is your response to various situations during the day. It's like in the morning, the mind is like a wet cement. So whatever impressions are made on a wet cement, once it gets hardened, they can't be removed. So if you begin your day on a divine note, I mean, how do we begin if people wake up but take bath at 10 a.m.? So everything begins by, as soon as you wake up, you take bath. And then you do other things. So early morning and early evening hours have always been reserved for spiritual activities. That means activities for the soul. So for that, people won't get up, but they are very happy to get up for activities related to the body, which we are not.
Yeah.
They will go for a run, they will go for a walk, they will go to the gym. And how much ever we try to hold on to the body, it is dying every moment. So early morning hours, early evening hours should be especially dedicated for this. And it plays a very, very important role, in deciding your consciousness through the day. The Gita's example is simple. The message is very simple, where Krishna tells Arjuna, Ma manusmara yuddha cha, that you fight, but at the same time remember me. So you see, he's not saying you just simply fight. So the real perfection of life is that when we work also, we do our worldly duties, we can have a divine consciousness. But that's not possible if we don't begin our day like that, if we are not used to doing that. The Vedas describe 4 Purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So it doesn't say artha, kama, dharma, moksha. First starts with dharma. Dharma, artha means money, kama means fulfill your desires, moksha ultimately should lead to liberation. So if the foundation is not dharma, if foundation is not spiritual, then your artha and kama, whatever you do during the day, will only create more problems, more anxieties for you. It will not lead to the 4th stage. So mostly people get stuck in the middle two, kama and artha. So that spiritual angle is lacking, and therefore there is so much restlessness in the world. Because the Gita explains we are spiritual beings, and therefore spiritual environment is our natural environment. The more we stay connected, the more we are happy. Like for a fish, the natural environment is water. If you take it away from water, it becomes restless. Same thing is happening. So people are not sleeping on time, they're not waking up on time. So when they're supposed to pray, they are sleeping. And therefore the whole thing has gone haywire. And the Bhagavad has predicted 5,000 years ago that in Kalyuga people will suffer and people's life duration will be shortened not because of any other reason but because of wrong lifestyle, which is happening today. So I think the morning hours, any successful people, even in the business world, if you'll find out, they'll have this habit that they wake up early. Of course, they may not be praying and all, but everything begins, first you wake up early, and then you begin your day on a very, very divine note. Like when you go to a gym, you exercise for a while in the morning, then you stay fresh through the day. Externally. Your body remains active. Similarly, if you pray, if you chant the Lord's name, you recite some scriptures, you worship the Lord, then whole day your mind remains very active. Your efficiency increases. And therefore, this morning hour, the morning sadhana is very, very important. And this will decide our experiences through the day also.
Prabhuji, as we start our day, so we do start with the God, let's say, and we progress our day at a very high note, keeping Lord Sri Krishna in our hearts. Now, during the day, things are going to go out the window.
Right.
People are going to be stressed. Life is going to hit them. And at those moments, as you right now just explained us in the Gita, it's written that Bhagwan Sri Krishna told Arjuna that remember me even when you're fighting.
Right.
But that's when we lose control. So how at your peakest level, when you're completely stressed out or you're angry or you're fearful, those strong emotions, how can you have Lord's name in your heart, and how can you make sure that you stay calm?
No, it's not that when Arjuna was fighting, he was simply smiling and shooting arrows. He was angry. But then anger is also in the mode of goodness. Anger can be productive, anger can be destructive also, for both the sides. If the anger is just coming out as a weakness of the heart, we may destroy ourselves, we may destroy others. But then there is anger like the mother shows towards her children. And externally she is angry, but that anger is not something that lasts forever. As soon as she's taught the lesson, she's back, she's hugging the child. So what happens is when you have a strong spiritual foundation, yes, you will have to face these situations, we'll have to deal with them on a surface level, but internally will not be affected by those emotions. It's not that we'll carry them back home and 3 days we are disturbed and we have just spoiled everything. So constructive anger is like Hanuman did. It's not that he's an angry young man. He utilized his anger for some higher purpose. He burnt the Lanka with that anger. But then when he came back, it's not that when he saw Lord Ram or he met Sita, and Sita is trying to ask him, "Oh, so who are you, where are you from?" And when he comes back to Lord Ram is asking, "So how was it?" And he's like, "Just give me an hour, I just need to calm down, मेरा गुस्सा ठीक नहीं हो रहा है." So it was very productive. जितना चाहिए उस सेवा के लिए किया, उसके बाद he is back to normal. So that is the kind of strong support that you get from spirituality. Agar our emotions don't take over, they don't control us, we control them. The example given in the Gita is like a tortoise. So a tortoise can withdraw its limbs at its will, can take them out also. He has full control. Similarly, a spiritualist also may get angry, but he has full control over his anger. He is not controlled by the anger. So the experience will be totally different if you have a spiritual foundation. So everything is centered around, the intention will be totally different. And how the other person feels towards our anger will also be different. Because when it is done out of malice, purely as a weakness of heart, the other person will feel hurt. Definitely there will be some destruction. But when it is done as a duty, like if you're dealing in the business world, people who are not working, you shout at them, but it will be done in the mode of goodness. It will not affect you, it will not overcome you.
Prabhuji, you just mentioned about the tortoise, that it can withdraw its limbs at his will and then spread them out again when it indeed requires. So we have this thing that one needs to have control over their body. That means the master of the body should be the mind. And then we need to be in control of our mind as well. So I believe that you need to control the mind, then the body, and then ultimately your destiny.
Right.
Can you please enlighten us on how we can start controlling our mind to do our bidding and then to control the body, and in turn make sure that we are in charge of our destiny?
The Upanishads give a very nice analogy. They compare this body to a chariot. Body is the chariot. The soul is the passenger. That means you and I. But who drives the chariot? The chariot driver. That is the intelligence. The chariot driver has the reins of the horses in his hands. The reins are the mind. And the 5 horses are the 5 senses. So ultimately it's not the mind, it's not the reins who are the master of the chariot. Mind is not the master of the body. Soul is. We are the soul. We have this body. We are not this body. So when the soul the chariot passenger can tell the chariot driver where to go, hold the reins tight. But when we forget our power, that we have the power to empower our intelligence, which eventually controls the mind, that's when the senses go wild, they go everywhere. So the reins have to be held tight, using our intelligence and understanding our own ability that potentially we are all very powerful spiritual beings, parts and parcels of God. We have forgotten that. Therefore, a subtle dead matter like mind is creating havoc in our life. Mind is nothing but dead matter, subtle but. But anyways, we have it. So how do we deal with it? There are so many techniques people can give. I have written it in my books also. There's a full chapter on mind control. But there are superficial solutions, temporary solutions. But the ultimate weapon to control the mind in Hindi is known as man. And the ultimate weapon is mantra. Manastrayate iti mantra. That which liberates the man is called mantra. That place where the man gets pacified, cleansed, is called mandir. So very scientifically our names have been given. So names were always given in our Vedic culture according to the qualities, activities of a person or his family lineage. Just like when you go to the market, there is a tablet called Coldrin. And it's related to the cold, to cure the cold. Similarly, to cure the man is mantra. So there should be some specific time given every day. So which mantra to chant? Kali Santaran Upanishad specifically mentions, in Kalyuga only mantras consisting of the names of God will work. In Kalyuga only the name works. Kalyug keval naam adhara. Brihad Naradiya Purana says, Harer Naam, Harer Naam eva kevalam, Kalau Nastiev, Nastiev, Nastiev Gatiranyatha. Only the name of Hari, only the name of Hari, only the name of Hari will work. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. So, when we dedicate some time every day to chant, Kali Santrana Upanishad specifically mentions this 16-syllable Hare Krishna mantra. That's why we chant it. It is specially recommended for this yuga. So, it is mentioned, Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam. Anybody who will chant this 16-syllable mantra will be relieved from all the ill effects of this age. One of them, the major ones, is the mental health challenges that people are facing. So if somebody, I'm not saying you blindly follow what I am saying, just experiment to kijiye at least. For the next 5 days, just spend half an hour every morning, chant this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because it is from the scriptures, you can never go wrong. So when you follow the prescription given by the doctor, you get cured faster, rather than whimsically choosing any medicine.
जी.
So scriptures are the prescriptions given by the Lord himself. All the great souls are prescribed, the great doctors, the great saints. So when we follow that system, we'll get cured faster. We will never go wrong. So you, as an experiment, you do half an hour, one mala is 108. So maybe half an hour to 35 minutes will take you 4 malas you will do. And try to hear the sound of the mantra. Mind is very sensitive to the sound. So depending on which sound we are exposing ourselves to, our mind's condition can alter. Like somebody comes and tells you, you are the most useless person in the world. No, it is simply sound. ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी ने कुछ आपने कुछ ऐसा किया और you are useless. But that just change your entire consciousness. Maybe for days, years, you might not forget it. And somebody comes and tells you, you are the best person in the world. So that also alters our state of mind. So we have to expose our mind to a very powerful sound to be cured. And the most powerful is the mantra, the name of God. So just do it as an experiment, I would say, for the next 4 or 5 days and see the difference it makes. Morning mein kijiye, 3-4 mala kijiye, आधा घंटा chant kijiye. And the only technique is just try to hear the sound of the mantra, Hare Krishna. और कुछ नहीं, मन इधर उधर भागेगा, again bring it back, again focus on the sound. Continue doing that and see the change. Like 2-3 days you will start experiencing the benefit and see how you feel through the day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from my own personal experience. Morning में आप ये करके देखिए and see the change. तो मन वन सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
So Prabhuji, even today's youth, they are very much focused, as you mentioned, in gymming. That we need to build a good body and we need to be physically healthy. And they tend to lose the sight of the mind and the soul. I think soul to picture में ही नहीं है. Then comes ki mental health ठीक करना है. So what would be one very good starting point for the youth of the day to start connecting with the soul?
Spiritual life has 9 different limbs and the first is hearing. They'll have to dedicate some time to hearing from the subject books, which are the scriptures. Say somebody wants to learn more about a geography, what does he need to do? 2 things. He has to approach the teacher of that subject and then hear from that teacher who teaches from some authorized book on the subject. So the authorized books are the scriptures like Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, and there's Mahabharata. But primarily they can begin with the Gita and they should find a teacher who is a devotee, because only to a devotee the Lord reveals the inner meanings of the scripture. They cannot be understood simply by knowing the language. They are revelations. They are only revealed to devotees who have favorable attitude. So we can begin our journey by hearing. Even if it's just once a week, that will be good enough. And abhi there is so much happening online also, you don't even have to step out. But there's no substitute to in-person hearing from the person directly. So everybody can just find out, okay, once in a week I will attend one sermon from some devotee, from the scripture. That will be the beginning. Hearing is the beginning. And then gradually as they hear, they must start applying what they are hearing and everything will be revealed. But spiritual life, if you have to begin, it cannot happen without accepting the guidance of a guru. In any field, if you want to become a footballer, you look for a coach. You want to lose weight, all the information is there on internet, but you still look for a dietitian. You want to study some subject, all the books are there in the market, you still go to a teacher. Same thing with spirituality. You want to start your journey, find out, pray to the Lord, pray to Krishna that send me the right guide for me to hold my hand and guide me on this path. You simply have to desire, sit back at home, and the Lord will send the right person, or you will be guided to the right person, depending on the sincerity of our desire. If somebody wants to be very sincerely practicing and really looking for answers, then that kind of person will enter our life as a guru. And if somebody just wants a level of spirituality just to say, I also go once a week, but is not serious, then that kind of person will enter your life as a guru who will cheat you throughout your life. You will feel that you are spiritual, you are following, but you will end up nowhere. So our desire has to be sincere. So journey begins by accepting a guru. बाकी फील्ड्स में उसको टीचर बोलते हैं, गुरु, मेंटर बोलते हैं, कोच बोलते हैं. A person who guides us on this path is known as guru. So find out and at least start your journey by hearing at least once a week. That will be a good start. And then gradually everything will be revealed.
Prabhuji, in today's youth, as they focus on other things, and as you mentioned, it's already been predicted in the Gita that in the Kalyuga, which is the current Yug, there will be a time when people will have screwed up lifestyle and they will forget about spirituality.
Sure.
And they will not do chanting. They will not start their day the way it was supposed to be. In such scenarios, what would your lessons, the top 5 or 10 lessons, what you may want to share from the Gita, which makes us a better human being? Like if we could just keep those 5 or 10 things in mind that can transform your whole life starting today.
First thing is, of course, understand who we are. This is the first fundamental teaching that Krishna gives. You know, there is an identity crisis all over the world. Why people are not following this path? Why they have forgotten? Because they have forgotten who they are. Suppose today I forget I am Nityananda Charan Das. Then what will happen? Chaos. I will end up in somebody else's home, or I'll do things which I'm not supposed to do, or I'll start doing something else. I'll maybe start talking differently because I've forgotten who I am. Therefore, when Krishna starts speaking the Gita, the first thing that he teaches is that we are not this body, we are spiritual beings. There are needs of the body and there are needs of the soul. And simply by supplying comfort and making this body fit will not necessarily make you happy. If this was so, then every person who has wealth, influence, power should be happy. But we see some of those people are most miserable. They may not show it. But everybody is going through a lot of struggle. But then we see people who may not have materially anything, but they're more satisfied. So first thing I would say is understand you are not this body. This is the first and foundational teaching of scriptures. Understand who you are. Once you understand who you are, everything will become clear what you need to do. So if you understand you are the HR head of the company, automatically you will know what you need to. But if you don't even know you are the HR head, then you wouldn't know. There will be confusion. So first thing is understand we are spiritual beings. And spiritual life is our natural life. The more we stay connected, the more we shall be happy. Success, fame will come by destiny. Happiness is a choice. So what is the use of success and fame and fit body if you're not happy? If you're not mentally stable? More than 1 million people committing suicide every year.
Yeah.
This number is greater than the number of people being killed in murderous crimes, wars and terrorist attack combined together. Still nobody is bothered about. There must be something seriously wrong that we are doing.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is lack of awareness about our identity, and therefore we are not taking it seriously. Once we understand we are spiritual beings, therefore spiritual life is my natural life, then okay, everything gets answered instantly. Why should I go to temple? Why should I study scriptures? Why should I dedicate some time every day for my spiritual enlightenment? Because that's where I belong. So understand the identity, then everything else will become clear. This is where you belong, therefore you must do this. And as I mentioned already, accept a guru who is a devotee of the Lord, who has dedicated his life, and because he can then guide you on this path, hold your hand. So without that, it's impossible. There is no dearth of people in India who are busy doing pujas at home or rituals, home and outside. But even after so many years, you see there is no transformation. Spirituality is useless, is an illusion, if the process that you're following in the name of spirituality is not bringing you closer to God. If it is not increasing your faith in God, that's what spirituality is meant for. But today definition has changed. If people go to some silent resort in some mountains and they come back, oh, it was such a spiritual place. That's how the thing has been diluted. If you're just being good, doing good, you are a spiritual person. Spiritual, virtuous life is the outcome of spirituality. It is not spirituality in itself. It is the outcome. But if somebody just being good, doing good, I am very spiritual. So understand that you have to accept the shelter of Guru, take guidance and be guided. Understand your identity, then work upon the duties as per that identity. You are a spiritual being. Now what do you do to advance? Accept a Guru. Because body is changing constantly. Third thing that the scriptures teach, primarily the Gita, is that nothing is permanent. I tell these young people that today you're not taking your spiritual life seriously because everything is going well in your life. You have a healthy body, young body, and you have born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But know that situation will not stay like this forever. The nature of this world is that it is forever changing.
Yeah.
Anything can change any moment. Anything can happen any moment. And there is a saying in army, those who sweat in peace bleed less in war. So when time is good, do it. Because when those inevitable challenges come into your life, you'll be in a much better position to handle them in a more dignified way.
Yeah.
So don't take life for granted. Don't take your youth, your beauty, your opulences for granted. I have seen families at some point the most prosperous, happiest, but now in the most miserable situation. So the world situation keeps changing. We have a stock of karma that we are carrying. So there is something called prarabdha karma for which we are suffering or enjoying right now. But there is something called aprarabdha karma, which is lying as a seed which will manifest sometime in future. So when, we don't know, but that's why you see sometimes everything is going well in someone's life and suddenly there is a huge reversal. That's aprarabdha karma. Time has come for it now to manifest.
Yes.
So don't be blind. Don't take things for granted. Yes, enjoyment is not forbidden. Taking care of body is not forbidden. But exclusive attention to enjoyment, materialistic enjoyment and only to your body, that is condemned. Because that's not who you are. Suppose I keep making this table shine and thinking I'll be happy with what I'm doing. That's like pure insanity. An old lady once brought a cage of gold for her parrot. She had a parrot, and then she was so fascinated. She kept on polishing the cage for many days, and after a few days she saw the parrot was dead. That's when she realized that in her fascination for this cage, she forgot to feed the bird. That's what is happening in our fascination for the body. We have forgotten to feed the soul. Soul is spiritual. The food for the soul is spiritual. Easily, there is so much restlessness in people's lives. Guaranteed that if they simply start reconnecting to their natural environment, their culture, they'll be much happier. And as I always say, it's a life of connection, not rejection. You don't have to give up what you're doing. You simply add this dimension to your life and see the magic that manifests then.
Yeah.
So this is another lesson. And one more I would like to mention is lead a sattvic life, pure life, religious life, sinless life. Because what do we want in life? Happiness, success. Now, please understand, happiness, success, fame, these are all outcomes, rewards for religious, dharmic, auspicious, sinless life. Distress of any kind, setbacks, disappointments, are the outcomes of irreligious, sinful, whimsical life. ये तो कोई deny नहीं कर सकता है कि as you sow, so shall you reap. So imagine there is a weighing scale. Now this side is the good side, religious life, pious life, sinless life, good deeds. And this is the irreligious life, sinful life, wrong choices, whimsical life. So if this side, the wrong side, is heavier, the outcome will be problems in life. And that means even if you will have everything, you will not be able to enjoy it. You will remain in anxiety, you will be frustrated, you will always be depressed. वो सब चलता रहेगा life then. And फिर हम ढूंढते रहते हैं ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, सब कुछ है, I'm not happy. Because this side is heavier. Your lifestyle is wrong. You may be leading a sinful lifestyle, whimsical life. And उस समय फिर क्या करना चाहिए? People generally what they do is the spiritual, even if they are following some spiritual practice, the bona fide spiritual practice as per the scriptures, not made up things. There are so many made up things in the name of spirituality. If they follow the genuine process as per the prescription of the scriptures, even if they are following, people's faith is so shallow that the first thing they will give up is their spiritual practice.
Yeah.
They will stop going to temple, they'll stop chanting, they'll stop studying scriptures, they'll stop going to discourses, and they feel that once they get better, they will get back to this. So the thing that can save them is the first thing they give up. उनका parties, घूमना, फिरना, enjoyment, वो सब चलता रहता है. And then they find out ways and means, better to forget their problems. So that means they are making this wrong side even heavier. तो इससे क्या होगा, वो situation में anxiety जो आपको दूर होगा ही नहीं. So that's the time where you need to increase weight on this side. That means you have to increase, intensify your good deeds, your pious activities, your spiritual activities. से जैसे ये पलड़ा भारी हुआ आपका, automatically situations will be created in your life magically that will give you what you desire.
Yeah.
That will give you that aspired happiness that you're aspiring for. So this needs to be remembered. So if you lead a pious, sattvic, pure, sinless, religious, dharmic life based on scriptural injunctions, even if the whole world is suffering, you will not suffer. Guaranteed. Law of karma is not unjust. It only strikes the person जो sinful है या जिसका समय आ गया है, जिसको strike करना चाहिए.
Got it.
So this must be remembered. So dharma, adharma. If you lead an adharmic life, lifestyle wrong है, और हमको सबको पता है गलत क्या है, सही क्या है, फिर भी हम नहीं करते हैं. वो ट्रेंड है, कर लिया, सब कर रहे हैं, कर लिया, मज़े में कर लिया. But then you pay the price. Then don't complain. So try to lead a sattvic life. सत्व गुण में अगर आप रहेंगे, Gita explains, then the qualities associated with the सत्व गुण will also be experienced. सत्व गुण की qualities क्या होती हैं? Greater sense of happiness, clarity, freedom from sin, more power of discrimination, automatically. So सत्व गुण में रहने के लिए wake up early. सत्व गुण का food है, so fruit, nuts, vegetables, milk, ये सब खाइए. Associate with people who are in Sattva Guna, associate with saintly people, engage in activities which are in Sattva Guna. And that way, if you develop Sattva Guna, you will be happy. Rajogun, Tamogun is running around and unlimited desires and laziness and no discrimination, no purpose.
Yeah.
No, then the result will be distress. So these are few things. There are a lot of things, but I think these are just basic and most practical.
Yeah, I do believe we are just scratching the surface of what profound knowledge the Bhagavad Gita holds.
True.
Another thing that comes to mind, Prabhuji, is that in today's day and age, another factor with each and every individual is ambition. Like from a child to an elderly, everybody is ambitious about something. Or I would say most of them are ambitious about something. Some are less, some have it in a very high quotient. How would you recommend to find a balance along with this ambition? Because this ambition somehow motivates you to do more evil than good at times. So how can one control himself and find a balance between ambition, spirituality and peace?
Once one businessman had asked me this question. I was going to his house for a satsang and he said, "Oh ji, we get so involved in this. When do we know that कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है?" I said, when you stop finding time for the activity which we are going to do right now at your home, when you stop finding time, when you stop prioritizing it, it becomes like by default. You stop prioritizing it. That means it's a red signal now. It would take a step back.
Yeah.
Ambition is not bad. Like there have been great kings in the past who were always busy expanding their kingdoms. But along with that, they were also leading God-conscious lives. And therefore, there was that complete balance. Immorality आता नहीं था जल्दी. Ambition उनमें भी था, इधर भी है. लेकिन उनमें क्योंकि foundation strong था spiritually. They were God-conscious king. They were like Raj Rishis, Rajas, but with saintly qualities. So therefore, that ambition was not becoming detrimental to their progress in life. इसीलिए मैंने कहा ना, वो धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष. अगर धर्म आपका फाउंडेशन है तो वो अर्थ और काम, running around, earning money, enjoying, will not bind you. Rather, it will lead you to the fourth stage also, moksha, which is the ultimate stage for human life. So that should not be forgotten. Ambition is fine, but that if that ambition is taking us away from our roots, from that soul aspect, it is making us more godless, then it is a curse. But if that ambition can bring us closer to the... Because एक ही principle है. जैसे भागवत में ये similar question was asked. What is the highest occupation for a man in general? For humanity. It is mentioned अतः पुंबिर द्विज श्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभागशः स्वनुस्थितस्य धर्मस्य समसिद्धिर हरितोषणम. That highest occupation for any human being is that which ultimately will result in the pleasure of the Supreme Lord Hari. That means leading a moral life, a God-conscious life, and offering the fruits of his work and his seva, remembering. So, usse kya hoga? That he is pleased. Then you should understand your occupation, whatever you're doing is perfect.
Yeah.
Swanusthitasya dharmasya vasudeva katha suya notpadiyadi ratim shama eva hi kevalam. ये एक और वर्स है भागवत में, that the duties that a man performs according to his nature are only so much useless labor if they are not invoking his attraction towards the message of the transcendent Lord. कि अगर हमारे जितने भी एक्टिविटीज़ कर रहे हैं, eventually if that is not bringing us closer to the Lord, it's not increasing our faith in God, it is making us more godless, making us an atheist, and it is not increasing our attraction for his message in the Gita, in the Bhagavad, it is not helping us create that foundation for ourselves, then it is a useless labor. फिर वो ambition आप कुछ भी कर लो, even if they win the whole world. There is a famous saying in the Bible also, na? What profiteth the man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So that should be remembered. All our immediate goals in this world should be aligned with the ultimate goal. The goal of human life is self-realization, God-realization. And as long as we stay connected to that goal, how much ever we want to achieve is fine. But if anything deviates us, then it's a curse. Then we should know it's a recipe for disaster.
I think it's very well put that we should always have our North Star in check.
Yeah.
And we will lead a healthier life.
Right.
So, building on that, we always hear that karm kar phal ki ichha na kar, which is a very profound saying. And I think this is one saying which is there in almost all textbook at an early age. So now we tend to forget what karma actually is. Like you are in the office or you are in your work, you tend to lie to your boss, maybe lie to your colleague, lie to your client. You tend to do a lot of things which may not be on the positive aspects or on the righteous path. So if you can enlighten us on what karma actually means, because people take it कि ये तो हमारा काम है यार, अब इसमें ये बोलना है तो बोलना है. But point being, the real gist of karma is somehow mixed in all the chaos. So if you could please explain what karma in karm kar phal ki ichha na kar means.
Karma, basically people have forgotten that law of karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. They are only interested in instant gratification.
Yeah.
They're not looking at long-term benefits. So we should know that everything that we do, there will be consequences, good and bad both. Rewards honge, punishment bhi hoga. And just because of our action is not giving us a reaction instantly, doesn't mean it will never give a reaction. There's a reason why karma is compared to a seed.
Yeah.
So when you sow a seed, do you think the fruit comes out instantly? According to its own timing. The only thing that separates us from the reaction to our action is the time factor. When the time comes, it will manifest. So you must always remember, कर्म ऐसे करो कि future distress ना लेके आए. Every moment is a choice. And if we do something wrong, suppose I break the traffic signal, बहुत खुशी होगी मेरे को, अरे निकल गया देखो, स्पीड से पहुंच भी गया टाइम, लेकिन वो बिल तो आएगा, घंटी बजेगी फ़ोन पे. Okay, this much fine you have to pay.
Yeah.
And if you break it too often, maybe there will be more stricter punishment. In this rat race now, because that foundation is very much lacking, regular hearing नहीं हो रहा है, सही गलत की पहचान दिलाने के लिए शास्त्रों से, तो जब भूल गए हैं, या तो हमने सुना नहीं है, और nobody is teaching us, we are not giving time, so then who would give a damn about what is right, what is wrong? Everything is decided based on, if the end result is you achieved, then even if you have manipulated, whatever you have done, you are considered a success.
Yeah.
The definition of success has changed from character ethics to personality ethics now.
Very well said.
Personality ethics means how you dress up, how you speak, how you smile, how you behave in your social interactions, how you manipulate. Even if you manipulate, how you become successful in the end, even if you're manipulated. End result, agar theek hai, you're a good person. But character ethics, isse pehle wo character ethics tha hamara. The qualities of modesty, humility, compassion, freedom from anger, greed, envy, pridelessness. That's real success. But people have just the demonic side has taken over. We all have both the side, divine and demonic. But we are not doing anything regularly to nourish our divine side. So obviously the demonic side is getting more prominent. And as a result, people are not even afraid of cheating, which is being broken. People are not afraid of exploiting others, not knowing that the consequences will come. So we have to remember two things. Whatever we do, there will be a price tag. Secondly, even if, and whatever is yours, nobody can take it away from you. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि people tend to do wrong things because they're not getting the result immediately, somebody else is getting. Of course, that is his karma, Baba. He deserves, that's why he's getting. But your time will also come. In fact, when we see others getting more than what we do, we should simply, people get envious, people get insecure, restless, and then they think, how can I just have a shortcut to success? But instead, we should feel encouraged. Okay, this person might have done something in past because of which he's achieving what he's achieving right now. So I also have hope. So let me also do my good deeds. Let me do my duty nicely. Even if I don't get the result immediately, it will definitely come in future. For that, patience is required. But that patience, that maturity comes through strong spiritual connection. वो maturity नहीं आएगा नहीं तो सोचने के लिए.
जी.
तो इसलिए थोड़ा सा we have to be careful. Every moment we are making a choice, we should ask ourselves, is this going to bring me future happiness or future distress? And take a decision accordingly. And destiny जो मैं आपके लिखा है वो कोई छीन नहीं सकता.
Definitely.
आएगा ही आएगा. So why worry?
Prabhuji, even as we move forward with the conversation, there's one thing that keeps striking me on and off, which is basically purpose. So I feel that to connect, you need a purpose. And I think all of us in our daily lives, through our karma, through our work, through our chantings, through our spirituality, through our meditations, we are actually looking for that purpose, that one thing that makes us feel valuable to the world. So how can one connect to his own purpose? How can one go about finding it?
देखिए, जैसे if you buy a गैजेट, तो उसके साथ एक मैनुअल आता है. दैट मैनुअल टेल्स यू व्हाट इट इज़ मेंट फॉर, राइट? सो इफ़ यू सी योर गैजेट एंड से क्या इसका काम क्या, चलो मैनुअल पढ़ो. उसी तरह व्हेन ह्यूमन बॉडी इज़ गिवन टू द सोल, देयर आर मैनुअल्स telling us what is the ultimate goal or purpose of this body, and those are the scriptures. तो scriptures में clearly लिखा है कि human form का purpose क्या है. It is only and only meant for realizing the purpose of life, human form, and that is to realize our own self and realize God realization, self-realization, and everything that we do should be in line with this ultimate goal. Otherwise, the opportunity to enjoy our senses is available to a dog, a hog, an ant, an elephant also. वो भी enjoy कर रहे हैं. Therefore, Mahabharata says, हार निद्रा भय मैथुनम च समन्यमेतत् पशुभिर नरानाम धर्मो हि तेषाम अधिको विशेषो धर्मे नहि न पशुभिः समान. That the four activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, they are common between animals and humans.
Yes.
So what separates humans from them? Just that we are doing these four activities in a more polished way. Activity same ही है. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. The special ability, because humans are blessed with higher intelligence, so they are the special ability to understand who am I, who is God, what is my relationship with Him, how do I revive that relationship, how can I put an end to my suffering, and to practice God consciousness. That ability in humans separates them from other species. Otherwise, the last line says, dharmen hinah pashubi samana. नहीं तो a human being is no better than an animal.
Yeah.
तो same activity कर रहे हैं. ये कौन सा life है? सुबह उठो, खाओ पियो, enjoy करो, अगले दिन repeat करो. An ant is also doing that. उसके लिए why waste a human body? So human body का USP है, it's meant for realizing the real purpose of life, self-realization, God realization, putting an end to this cycle of birth and death. Because as long as the soul keeps getting a material body, it will suffer. So how we can stop this transmigration? तो इसलिए पर्पस तो स्क्रिप्चर्स ही बताते हैं, बाकी पर्पस तो हमने बना के रख लिए हैं. जितने भी पर्पस हैं, दे आर ऑल सेंटर्ड अराउंड दीज फोर एक्टिविटीज ओनली. व्हाई डज अ पर्सन वांट वन मोर मनी, मे फेम, क्यों? So that he can enjoy better, eat better, sleep better, enjoy better, protect what he has. तो एनिमल ही रह गए ना. बट इसीलिए कहा जाता है कि माँ मनुष्य का शरीर देती है और गुरु हमको मनुष्य बनाता है.
जी.
By giving us this connection, this the real purpose, direction life में. तो अगर ये नहीं है, इसको सुन के लोग हंसें, सीरियसली ले ना ले, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. बट द लॉ डजंट चेंज. यही पर्पज़ है. और ह्यूमन लाइफ अगर इस पर्पज़ के लिए यूज़ नहीं हो रहा है तो फिर गए काम से. फिर तो देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम्स एज ए रिएक्शन. क्योंकि जिस काम के लिए आपको हमने मर्सिडीज़ दिया, आपको दिया लग्जरी ड्राइव के लिए, एंड यू आर यूजिंग इट टू प्लॉ द फील्ड्स, क्या होगा? फिर पनिशमेंट तो मिलेगा ना, देने वाला तो छीन भी लेगा.
जी, डेफिनेटली. गुरुजी, वन अनदर major point that is in my mind is that everything is turning to decision making. Like you want to buy something, it's a decision, because there is abundance of everything. Literally there is abundance of options, I would say. So how can you be spiritually well connected to make the right decisions? Because ultimately it's the decisions that basically result in your doing, in your karma. So how can one have control over those decisions?
See, जैसा भगवान ने गीता में ही कहा है, ददामि बुद्धि योगम तम येन माम उपयान्ति. I give the intelligence to those who are connected to me. So yes, the Lord is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, super soul. तो लेकिन अगर उनसे connection strong नहीं है तो how will you get that message from him? So if you have that strong connection, जितना हमारा strong connection होगा भगवान से, उतना ज़्यादा गाइडेंस मिलेगा, उतना ज़्यादा he will as a transparent media, he will guide us from within. ये ठीक है, ये ठीक नहीं है. Like Arjuna, he was controlling every bit of his existence. एक एक word जो अर्जुन बोल रहे थे, Krishna was speaking through him because he's fully surrendered, fully connected. So that's why our spiritual sadhana becomes very important, जो मैंने शुरू में discuss किया. If you have that sadhana, primarily the most powerful way is to chant his names, the main sadhana. वो strong है, जितना strong रहेगा उतना ही the answers will come from within. Definitely he will guide. It's a very dynamic process. The proof of the pudding is in eating. So I may be saying, but people who have not done it, they may not find it very practical. But this is something the guidance will come, because he becomes the most. He says he's the greatest well-wisher of his devotees. And if we are not connected, we are not on that level, although we might be practicing. So we have to understand, weigh the pros and cons of your decision. कि इसको करेंगे तो क्या होगा, analyze कीजिए इसको करेंगे, because every choice will come with a price tag. And then you decide which price you want to pay. And then go ahead and then take responsibility for the decision you have taken. Don't regret it then.
Got it.
तो इस तरह से वो decision लेना आसान हो जाएगा when we analyze. ये फ़ायदा, ये नुकसान, ये फ़ायदा, ये नुकसान. And then take responsibility for the decisions.
Prabhuji, after all this conversation, let's do some quick fire questions wherein you can answer in a word or probably a sentence which becomes more relatable to anybody who listens to these questions.
Okay.
To begin with, what is that one particular spiritual practice that you do every day, no matter how busy you are, or what is your traveling schedule, or if you're stuck somewhere?
Chanting of the Mahamantra.
Hare Ram.
Do
Hare
16
Ram.
malas minimum.
16 malas. Yeah. Okay. One particular book that changed your life throughout, and it does help you every day going forward.
Of course, Gita we have been discussing, but I get more nourishment from Bhagavad.
Srimad Bhagavad.
Yeah, that is the highest scripture ever written by Vyasadeva.
Ji. So what is your favorite way to start the morning in a tone that it brings joy throughout the day?
I begin by remembering my Guru, the Lord, and some saintly people, and then I do my chanting.
So if you have to sum up your life journey into one sentence, what would that be?
I think just trust Krishna's plan. Whatever is happening for good. I wanted to be an army officer. I failed again and again, not realizing why I was doing, although I had done pretty well in all the exams, interviews. But now when I look back, I can connect all the dots. If I had been selected in army, I wouldn't be here. So whatever happens, have faith in the Lord's system that He has created. The Lord is perfect and this whole creation is perfect. So whatever is happening, if we keep our eyes and ears open, we will know that it is meant for our ultimate benefit, our growth.
The last quick fire question, who has been your inspiration so far?
Inspiration
In general, like one person or like a particular thing, a particular topic that inspired you throughout your journey to keep going?
It is Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Because only when I was in college, I was trying to decide whether should I join or become a monk or not. And when I read his biography and the struggle that he went through, at the age of 70, he embarks on a journey, 36 days journey on a cargo ship, 2 heart attacks with no help, no money, in a foreign land, and how he worked hard to start this mission. So that's what convinced me. And even now, his journey keeps giving me faith. Whenever we face some hardships, I remember him, and that, like, compared to what he faced, this is nothing. So that gives a lot of solace.
Thank you so much for all these insights, Prabhuji. Now, let's just talk about one thing that at any point of time, let's say a religious, spiritual person in his journey at any point of time feels disconnected to the Supreme Lord. How can he connect himself once again?
Again, we associate with those who are already connected.
The circle.
Yeah. Just like if somebody has given up drinking, all he has to do is to resume, go in their association again. It's the same thing here.
Any particular piece of advice you would like to give to today's youth?
Same thing as I mentioned in the beginning also. Just take your spiritual life seriously. You'll be more than rewarded. Don't take life for granted. Don't think it is something outdated. We are not very advanced. We think advancement in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is advancement. Real advancement is advancement in consciousness, especially spiritual consciousness. And spiritual consciousness doesn't mean just being good, doing good. It means having a strong connection with people on this path, trying to develop that faith in God. That will become your saving grace. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, and thank you so much for all the insights. I mean, I was amazed to learn that everything starts with the first thing in the morning. So, getting up, doing the puja, doing the chanting, and especially, so I was always confused about should the chanting be inside, like manse, or should it be outside. So, thank you for clarifying that. We need to be out loud, we need to make sure that our ears also hear what we are saying.
Yes.
We also touched base on how we can start on this path. That is, we start today, we start with the simplest chanting, we start with the 16 syllables, 16 words rather. We start with the Bhagavad Gita and we take one step each day to a righteous path.
Right.
We follow dharma first. That's where everything else will align.
The foundation, like when you construct a skyscraper, the first thing is the
First step is the
foundation.
foundation. So thank you so much for enlightening us today. I believe that everybody who would be listening to this would definitely have a kickstart on their journey. And if they have been lost or if they feel lost at any point of time, this should be a good wake-up call for them to wrap around. If not a circle, let this conversation be a inspiration and a motivation for them to come back. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.